Hello everyone, welcome to another Bible Trivia Quiz. My name is Jonathan, I'll be your host as always. Excited for this one, looking at a general Bible quiz. Good luck, I hope you do well. Let's get started with question 1. Question 1. Who was the oldest man mentioned in the Bible? Is it Methuselah, Noah, or Adam? The answer is Methuselah. Genesis 5:27. Altogether, Methuselah lived a total of 969 years and then he died. Question 2. Which book of the Bible contains the Ten Commandments? Is it Genesis, Exodus, or Deuteronomy? The answer is Exodus. Exodus 21, and God spoke all these words. Question 3. What is the name of the sea that Moses parted to escape the pursuing Egyptian army? Is it the Dead Sea, the Red Sea, or the Mediterranean Sea? The answer is the Red Sea. Exodus 14:21-22. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground with a wall of water on their right and on their left. Question 4. Which disciple denied Jesus 3 times before the rooster crowed? Is it Peter, Andrew, or Joseph? The answer is Peter. Matthew 26:75. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken, "Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. Question 5. What is the fruit of the Spirit according to Galatians 5:22-23? Is it love, joy, peace? Love, hope, faith? Or joy, peace, patience? The answer is love, joy, peace. Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Question 6. Which disciple walked on water with Jesus but began to sink? Is it Peter, Andrew, or James? The answer is Peter. Matthew 14:29. "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. Question 7. Who was the tax collector that climbed a sycamore tree to see Jesus? Is it Bartimaeus, Og, or Zacchaeus? The answer is Zacchaeus. Luke 19:3-4 says, "He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way." Question 8. What is the first book of the Bible? Is it Leviticus, Exodus, or Genesis? The answer is Genesis. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Question 9. Who was the Egyptian pharaoh during Moses' time? Is it Amenhotep III, Ramses II, or Tutankhamun? The answer is Ramses II. Exodus 1:11. So they put slave masters over them to oppress them with forced labor, and they built Pithom and Ramses as store cities for Pharaoh. Question 10. What was the name of the city where Paul was born? Is it Tarsus, Antioch, or Jerusalem? The answer is Tarsus. Acts 22:3. "I am a Jew, born in Tarsus of Cilicia, but brought up in this city. I studied under Gamaliel and was thoroughly trained in the law of our ancestors. I was just as zealous for God as any of you are today." Question 11. Who was the father of King David? Is it Samuel, Daniel, or Jesse? The answer is Jesse. 1 Samuel 16:3 says, "Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what to do. You are to anoint for me the one I indicate." Question 12. Which prophet was known as the weeping prophet? Is it Jeremiah, Ezekiel, or Isaiah? The answer is Jeremiah. Jeremiah 9:1 says, "Oh, that my head were a spring of water, and my eyes a fountain of tears. I would weep day and night for the slain of my people." Question 13. Who was the first disciple to be martyred for his faith? Is it Joshua, Andrew, or James? The answer is James. Acts 12:1-2. It was about this time that King Herod arrested some who belonged to the church, intending to persecute them. He had James, the brother of John, put to death with the sword. Question 14. Who was the mother of Samuel? Is it Hannah, Deborah, or Miriam? The answer is Hannah. 1 Samuel 1:20. So in the course of time, Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, "Because I asked the Lord for him." Question 15. Who was the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary? Is it Eli, Heli, or Tiberius Caesar? The answer is Heli. Luke 3:23. Now Jesus himself was about 30 years old when he began his ministry. He was the son, so it was thought, of Joseph. Question 16. Who is the man who carried the cross of Jesus? Is it Joseph of Arimathea, Simon of Cyrene, or Tamar? The answer is Simon of Cyrene. Mark 15:21. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, the father of Alexander and Rufus, was passing by on his way in from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross. Question 17. Who was the Israelite woman who famously killed Sisera with a tent peg? Is it Ruth, Ahab, or Jael? The answer is Jael. Mark 15:21. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, the father of Alexander and Rufus, was passing by on his way in from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross. Question 18. What was the name of the prophet who ate a scroll as a sign of his prophetic call? Is it Peter, Isaiah, or Ezekiel? The answer is Ezekiel. Ezekiel 3:1-2 says, "And he said to me, Son of man, eat what is before you. Eat this scroll. Then go and speak to the people of Israel." So I opened my mouth, and he gave me the scroll to eat. Question 19. Who was the Roman centurion who declared, "Truly this was the Son of God," after witnessing Jesus' crucifixion? Is it Longinus, Centurio, or Julius? The answer is Longinus. Matthew 27:54. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, "Surely he was the Son of God." Question 20. What was the name of the king who ordered all the male infants in Bethlehem to be killed? Is it Herod Agrippa, Herod the Great, or Herod Antipas? The answer is Herod the Great. Matthew 2:16. When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious. He gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Question 21. Who was told to marry a promiscuous woman as a symbol of God's relationship with Israel? Is it Abel, Hosea, or Josephine? The answer is Hosea. Hosea 1:2. When the Lord began to speak through Hosea, the Lord said to him, Go, marry a promiscuous woman and have children with her, for like an adulterous wife, this land is guilty of unfaithfulness to the Lord. Question 22. Who is the queen who risked her life to save her people, the Jews, from destruction? Is it Jezebel, Esther, or Vashti? The answer is Esther. Esther 7:3. Then Queen Esther answered, If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition, and spare my people. This is my request. Question 23. Who was the wealthy man who buried Jesus' body in his own tomb? Is it Nicodemus, Job, or Joseph of Arimathea? The answer is Joseph of Arimathea, Matthew 27:57-59. As evening approached, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who had himself become a disciple of Jesus. Going to Pilate, he asked for Jesus' body, and Pilate ordered that it be given to him. Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth. Question 24. Who is the disciple known as the son of encouragement? Is it Barnabas, Peter, or James? The answer is Barnabas, Acts 4:36-37. Joseph, a Levite from Cyprus, whom the apostles called Barnabas, which means son of encouragement, sold a field he owned and brought the money and put it at the apostles' feet. Question 25. Who was the king who asked for the head of John the Baptist on a platter? Is it Herod the Great, Herod Antipas, or Herod Agrippa? The answer is Herod Antipas, Matthew 14:5. Herod wanted to kill John, but he was afraid of the people because they considered John a prophet. Question 26. Who was the father of John Mark, the author of the Gospel of Mark? Is it Silas, Joshua, or Barnabas? The answer is Barnabas, Acts 12:12. When this had dawned on him, he went to the house of Mary, the mother of John, also called Mark, where many people had gathered and were praying. Question 27. Who was the king of Judah when Jerusalem was destroyed by the Babylonians? Is it Jehoiakim, Ebed-Melech, or Enoch? The answer is Jehoiakim, 2 Kings 24:7. The king of Egypt did not march out from his own country again because the king of Babylon had taken all his territory from the Wadi of Egypt to the Euphrates River. Question 28. Who confronted King David for his sin with Bathsheba? Is it Julius, Nathan, or Longinus? The answer is Nathan, 2 Samuel 12:7. Then Nathan said to David, You are the man. This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you from the hand of Saul. Question 29. What was the name of the disciple whom Jesus loved and reclined next to him at the Last Supper? Is it James, Thomas, or John? The answer is John, John 13:23-24. One of them, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said, Ask him which one he means. Question 30. Who is the woman of great beauty and wisdom that Solomon fell in love with? Is it the Queen of Sheba, the Queen of Egypt, or the Queen of Rome? The answer is the Queen of Sheba, 1 Kings 10:13. King Solomon gave the Queen of Sheba all she desired and asked for, besides what he had given her out of his royal bounty. Then she left and returned with her retinue to her own country. Question 31. Who was the king of Judah who found the book of the law during renovations of the temple? Is it Jehoiakim, Josiah, or Hilkiah? The answer is Hilkiah, 2 Kings 22:8. Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the secretary, I have found the book of the law in the temple of the Lord. he gave it to Shaphan, who read it. Question 32. What was the name of the man who fell asleep during one of Paul's sermons and fell from a window? Is it Demetrius, Aristarchus, or Eutychus? The answer is Eutychus. Acts 29. Seated in a window was a young man named Eutychus, who was sinking into a deep sleep as Paul talked on and on. When he was sound asleep, he fell to the ground from the third story and was picked up dead. Question 33. Who was the king of Judah who was taken into captivity by Nebuchadnezzar and had his eyes put out? Is it Joash, Zedekiah, or Lazarus? The answer is Zedekiah. 2 Kings 25:7. They killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes. Then they put out his eyes, bound him with bronze shackles, and took him to Babylon. Question 34. What was the name of the high priest who accused Stephen of blasphemy? Is it Annas, Gamaliel, or Bartholomew? The answer is Annas. Acts 7:1. Then the high priest asked Stephen, "Are these charges true?" Question 35. Who was the Israelite judge who killed Eglon, the king of Moab, with a double-edged sword? Is it Barak, Benjamin, or Ehud? The answer is Ehud. Judges 3:21. Ehud reached with his left hand, drew the sword from his right thigh, and plunged it into the king's belly. Question 36. Who was the king of Israel who built the first temple in Jerusalem? Is it Solomon, Josiah, or Cyrus? The answer is Solomon. 1 Kings 6:1. In the 480th year after the Israelites came out of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month of Zib, the 2nd month, he began to build the temple of the Lord. Question 37. What was the name of the city where Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead? Is it Ephesus, Malta, or Bethany? The answer is Bethany. John 11:1-2. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. Question 38. Who was the woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment and was healed? Is it the Syrophoenician woman, the woman with the issue of blood, or the woman with the perfume? The answer is the woman with the issue of blood, Mark 5:28-29, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. Question 39. Who was the king of Israel when the northern kingdom was divided from the southern kingdom? Is it Rehoboam, Eli, or Jeroboam? The answer is Rehoboam. 1 Kings 12:21. When Rehoboam arrived in Jerusalem, he mustered all Judah and the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 able young men, to go to war against Israel and to regain the kingdom for Rehoboam, son of Solomon. Question 40. What was the name of the place where Jesus was arrested before his crucifixion? Is it Capernaum, Nazareth, or Gethsemane? The answer is Gethsemane. Matthew 26:36. Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." Great job! You made it to the end. How did you do? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this with family and friends and challenge them. Hopefully you did alright. If not, better luck next time. Have a wonderful day.